elbow. Hi, I'm Jeff and welcome back to the shed quarters. Now, I'd love to just jump straight into Project Bitza and start hacking things up. However, I need to restrain myself. The chassis table needs to be finished first. Now, this table is 4 meters long, 2 meters wide. The whole top of it is within 0.5 millimeter of any other point of it. It took me a little while to build it to make it that accurate. Now that's all going to go out the window because I'm going to screw timber top to the whole thing. But it'll make it a lot more workable. So yeah, before I can do that I need to get the shell off and, well, a little bit of clean up. So the shell's got to go onto my normal workbench and everything that's on there at the moment needs to go somewhere else. Probably the bin. So, time to do that. Well, it's been on there a couple of years, but the folder needs to come off. So, grinder time. I have been thinking though, since I built this, that it needs to be mounted on the end of the chassis table, so perfect time to do it. Hand me my grinder. So, my trusty Makita. Now, when I welded this onto the table, I only put a little, about 2.5 centimeter weld on each end, right out here, so I can get the grinder to it, like I planned it or something. That folder is one heavy chunk of metal. Alright, let's get this shell moving. What a coincidence, it's just the right height. That's interesting. I've never seen it there before. Alright. This is a bit weird because, well, the Mini has always been here in this spot since before I built the table. I literally built this table underneath the Mini. It was hanging from the roof, so yeah. I've never seen the whole table like this before. It's a bit weird. Now I've just got to move a bit more stuff here. I've got a bunch of stainless that I'm going to use to build a big fish tank stand for that great big fish tank in the backyard that you may have noticed in some of my videos. No, somebody has. So anyway, clear this off and then I can start laying some boards up here. That'll be even weirder. Now, you may be thinking, table's clear, time to screw some timber on it. Not quite. What I need to do next is take these 2550s and weld them in up the centre of the table. So then the edges of the two boards will sit on that and it won't misalign. So I'm going to weld them in, and at that end of the table there's something a little different that needs to happen. Okay, so up this end of the table I'm going to put my big folder on here so that it's solidly mounted and easier to fold things, and part of that is the back edge will be cut out of the tabletop so that I can actually put clamps through and clamp onto the back edge of the folder, because sometimes that's handy. So in order to stop things from falling through onto the cupman, I've got this lovely piece of folded steel, thanks Ben. It's going to just fit in here like that. It will have the RHS going through here all the way to the end of the table to support the timber, and that should work fairly well. It's got a little gap at the end here so I can just blow stuff out if it need be. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted, so I will glue that in. Zap zap. And that concludes the welding portion of this video. And now you're probably thinking, hey, it's finally time to put the top on the table. But no, not quite. We're going to use some 10mm MDF and cover up both ends and this back side. And then once I've got that all covered up, then we can put the tabletop on. So, let's try to do this a bit quicker. Alright, so that's all done. That is now perfectly flush with the top, so when I put the top on, I'll be able to router along this edge and the top will be perfect. So that's the plan. So now I just need to put on 3 more of these up the other sides, and then we can go for the top. Better keep going then. Sides are done, cleaned up. Now you're probably thinking, well, there's probably some other thing that Jeff needs to do before I put the top on this table, but no, there's not. It's just time to put the top on. Done! Well, not quite. I've got 4 of these big sheets of 18mm MDF. Now, it'd be great to cover the whole bench top with this lovely coated stuff, but I've only got 1 sheet that's actually good. So I might just put this one aside, because I've got something else I might want to use it for. And then, we'll put the other 4 sheets up. They're going to butt together and form the tabletop, then I'll go around and route to the edge.
I am back!
Really?
Yeah.
Right, just be quiet though. That looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to put one more layer down on top. And I'm actually glad that I only had one sheet of the melamine, because that is very slippery. So on top is going to be more of the chipboard that we use on the tops of these drawers. I've got 4 sheets of that here, so now this is going to be the final layer on top. This is the same sort of stuff as what I used on the drawers underneath the table. Now it's going to have a 3mm gap running all the way down the length of the table, so that then when I'm setting up the chassis I can just hook the end of the tape measure in the gap and pull it out this way. I go around the other side, pull it out that way, and everything is set up perfectly centered on the table. It just makes things easier. So we'll get this fitted, screwed down. The table is solid, literally very solid. Now, that end of the table, it's all screwed down totally. This end, I've only put a few screws in the boards because I still have to pull this top sheet off so that I can fit the bender on the end here. Now, that's not happening just yet because it's kind of stuck in the corner. So let's put some wheels on this Mini and then get it on the table. Alright, let's put some wheels on this thing. Not quite what you were expecting, but they should work. It's even got brakes.
I think that's a petty piece.
So yeah.
Okay.
Come on, check Corgi. Alright, so we're back where we started with the bitza on the table. And Shed Corgi can now walk around on the table. Yeah, he had trouble balancing on those beams before. But it's a good solid tabletop now. It's about 30mm thick and it doesn't flex at all, which will be handy for building a chassis on it or using it for a jigging table. Now it's a timber deck, so I can just screw blocks of timber down wherever I need them. The folder is actually welded to the end of the table now. I was nearly not going to fit it because well, I wanted to get this video out, but in the end I did fit it, and yes, in the end I did fit it, and I'm glad I did because it would have just been left sitting in the corner for a very long time if I didn't do it right now. Now the deck of the folder is actually flush with the tabletop, so sheets can slide in fairly easily. So the fact that the folder is now welded to this table that's not going to move, it should have a bit more capacity, so that should be interesting to determine. Now that's about it for the table. I think I've pretty much reached my capacity for woodwork for the next decade. However, I do want to put cover panels on these drawers just to finish them off, make them look a bit nicer, and maybe build a set of stairs so the shed corgi can get up here when he wants to. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this. Now, before I can actually get a start on the bitza build, I need to do a little restoration job on a big drill press I just picked up. Thanks, Ben. And yeah, well, I need that before I can make a start on the A-Series all-wheel drive engine customization thing that's going to be going on in the front of this. So, that'll be next week's video. And, well, until then, as always, customize everything. Hey, shed corgi. Pause. Come on, pause. Yeah. You are a good shed corgi, aren't you? You are a good shed corgi. You are the best shed corgi. Under the tail. Lower him down. Yeah, please. Alright. Good thing I swept the floor for you, isn't it?